Hey, what's up everybody? It's V here, and in this video I'm going to cover a topic that I have been wanting to cover for quite a long time, and that is manga that is tailored for kids. Now, as many of you may know, in the manga industry, most manga, like if you go to Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, or adjust this just a little, there we go, that's better. Anyway, so when you go to the Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you buy your books, the majority of the manga is going to have a teen or older teen rating. So one demographic that is largely ignored is kids under the age of 12. For some reason, I can't adjust this right. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. We'll just deal with it how it is. So, what I'm going to do today is cover some manga that I am familiar with personally, give a mini review for them. These are just manga that are appropriate for children 12 years of age and under. Now this video was actually inspired by a fellow manga YouTuber by the name of CJ vs. Manga, who has been an inspiration for me to start my own manga channel. She is one of my favorites. So CJ, shout out to you. Thank you for being my inspiration to do all this, and I'm thoroughly glad that you enjoy my channel just as much as I enjoy yours. But anyway, enough of my rambling on, let's get into the manga. So the first one I'm going to show you is kind of an odd one. It is Barakeman, and the thing about this is Volume 1 actually has a teen rating on the back, but from Volume 2 going forward, it has an all ages rating. So this is one big thing that you can look into for a manga that is safe for kids. It'll have an all ages rating on the back. So you do want to make sure that you look for that. Now, not all manga is going to have an age rating, but you just skim through the manga, look for anything that might be inappropriate for a child. You can always do research online, ask other people who are into manga, and they can definitely help you out. I know I've given, when I go to the bookstore every now and again, I'll get somebody who asks me for advice. It actually feels really good to be helpful. So anyway, enough on that. So the next one I have here is Yotsuba and this one is probably my favorite as far as children's manga go. It's about this little girl Yotsuba, and I can't pronounce her last name, but anyway, that's all besides the point. But basically this manga falls under the slice of life genre. Basically it's just about Yotsuba. She moves into a brand new town with her father, and basically it just entails her life, her daily activities, the friends that she meets, daily adventures that she goes on, which some of them are absolutely hilarious. But this is definitely one of the most adorable manga that I've ever read. One thing I should caution you though, in volumes 2 and 3, at the beginning of both volumes, there is some content that I think is a little bit questionable for children's demographic. It's nothing extremely over the top. It's either, I think it's volume 2 or it might be 3. One of them anyway has some very mild language in it. You know, nothing like, well, we'll just say nothing like a seinen manga or anything like that. Just some mild language that you might want to steer clear of. And then there is a scene where Yotsuba's holding a gun, which it's a toy gun. You know, it's not real, there's no bullets fired or anything like that. But she mimics something that she sees on TV. So, but the good thing is though, if you prefer to skip those 2 volumes, the stories don't really connect all that much, so your child or whoever you're getting this for won't miss out on any of it. Well, I shouldn't say that, they won't miss out on too much if you skip a couple volumes. Alright, the next one I have here is the Legend of Zelda manga series. Now, the all ages rating, again, as you can see on the back, applies to every volume released up to Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess actually has a teen rating, but from my personal experience, I didn't see anything too over the top that I wouldn't, like, if a child got a hold of that, I wouldn't feel too bad about it. But you're probably better off just sticking with the volumes that come out before. Now, there are brand new Legendary editions that are coming out for this, which I might at some point replace these single volumes, but I'm not in a big hurry. I do have a couple nieces that are getting into manga, so I'll see if maybe they want this. One of them is a huge Zelda fan, so I think this would be very perfect for her. But anyway, this manga is based off the Legend of Zelda video game series. And me being a big Zelda fan, this was something that I thought was very awesome for me to have in my collection. The stories are absolutely hilarious. And one thing I will say, though, again, going back to CJ versus manga, one thing she did mention, though, is that the volumes that are based on the games with the most amount of story generally are not as good as, you know, like Four Swords or Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, that type of thing. With those video games being small, the mangaka kind of has their ability to interpret it the way they choose to, which I think is very, very nice, the way they did it, because if you guys don't know, Akira Himekawa is actually 2 people, it's not 1 person. Just a heads up. So, but they have their own, their ability to interpret it in their own way, which actually my favorite would have to be Four Swords. I think that one's absolutely amazing, very hilarious. The next one, this was actually my very first manga when I was younger. I was into, when I was little, I was into Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and Cardcaptor Sakura. But all my childhood manga I either got rid of or they got lost. But that's a story for another video. But anyway, so we got Pokemon Adventures. Now, this is an adaptation of the video games, not of the anime, so just make sure you don't get that confused. The Pokemon Adventures has a really, really solid storyline. Now, this particular volume I have here is from the Red and Blue arc. I also have the Gold and Silver arc if you watched my previous manga pickups video. But you get like, I think 7 or 8 per generation. So right now it's up to X and Y. As far as I know, there's nothing out for Sun and Moon yet, but that's eventually going to come if it's not out yet. But Pokemon Adventures is definitely very fun. And it's very clever too. I do want to review this at some point, so I'm going to save a big description for my review video for these. So, alright, now the next 2 kind of go together, so I'm going to review them together. We have Jacko the Galactic Patrolman, which is a single one-shot, and then Dragon Ball Z. Now, Jacko the Galactic Patrolman is Dragon Ball canon, although it's not, I would say it's indirectly related to the Dragon Ball franchise, but this gives you the backstory of Goku and his parents. And Jacko, this little fellow right here, was actually in the movie Resurrection F, so if you've seen the movie, you know exactly who this fella is. And then, of course, like I said, Dragon Ball Z. This was actually, this and Sailor Moon was actually my first experience in anime, but it was years and years, probably I was maybe a teenager by the time I knew exactly what these were called. I just consider them Japanese cartoons. I didn't know what they were called exactly. Yeah, I was a teenager, but when I found out that it was actually called anime. But anyhow, now, one thing you should know, do not get this confused with Dragon Ball. Now, in the release in Japan, it was just considered Dragon Ball all the way around. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z is the one that's more child-friendly. Dragon Ball, not so much. I would show you on camera, but I don't want to get this video flagged for inappropriate content. In the beginning of Dragon Ball, there's some shots of little Goku running around in the nude. But if you read the manga, you know what I mean. But if not, you can take a look at it for yourself and see what you think. But yeah, so again, these are just the manga that I have had personal experience with. I'll put a link to a few other manga that I've heard about and that are child friendly in the video description. So hopefully that helps you out if you have a child and you want to get them started on manga, or if you're a kid at heart and you're trying to get your collection started. These are all great suggestions for you. All really, really good, solid series. And that about wraps up the video for today. Sorry it was a little bit rushed. And if you notice that I wear like a similar looking t-shirt the next 4 or 5 videos, I'm pre-recording a bunch only because August and September are going to be extremely busy. I have a vacation coming up the end of September. My husband and I are going to Florida for Walt Disney World. For my birthday, actually, because my birthday does fall in September. I might record a couple videos while I'm there. I'm not sure. The only way that I might record a video though is if I feel like it when we get to Epcot, we're going to visit the World Showcase, and I might record when we get to the Japan Pavilion, like if they have manga or something. If they have manga, I'll be really ecstatic. I'm definitely going to buy at least one volume. I don't care what the series is. But anyway, enough about that. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Again, sorry if I'm rambling on a little bit. I'm just trying to get a bunch of videos taken care of. So I'm trying to get enough for weekly uploads up until we leave for Florida. So expect weekly content for a while. I'm going to try to get videos out more regularly than what I have been. Things have just been kind of crazy. But thankfully, finances are getting back in order. So that's a plus there. All right. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. I thank you all for your support. I'm starting to gain subscribers again, which is absolutely amazing. Stay tuned for a video next week. I'm going to have a little surprise in there for all of you. So let's just say the number 500 is going to be very important when we get to that one. All right, guys, this is V signing off. Have a good day.